welcome to another live episode of the Same Difference podcast. We have, as you can see, a dynamic all-male panel for our live Q&A special today. We have the questions, we have the guys, and when I say dynamic, we have Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., we got Marcus Norman, the gentleman himself, for the host of Gentleman Style Podcast. And then we got Mr. Soulface, Jamal R. Griffin, Mr. Ambiance himself down to the bottom left. Hey, we're going to let Dr. Leroy introduce himself first. If you could go ahead and tell the people who you are.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. It is a great pleasure to be here this evening. I am the president and CEO of JNF Enterprises. And what we simply do is we equip entrepreneurs, organizations, and leaders to master their craft at an elite level. And we do that in several different ways. We do it through our entrepreneur playbook. We do it through our entrepreneur briefcase. And we just take those that we have as clients to their next level, whatever that next level might be for them. I'm excited to be here tonight talking about something that's near and dear to me, which is about we as men and what we do as men. So I'm excited, and thanks for having me. I appreciate you, y'all, for having me on the show this evening.
Of course. We appreciate you coming on because you could have been anywhere else but here, but you chose to be here. We thank you for it. It's going to be dope, trust me. The last one we had was a Q&A with an all-women panel, and the viewers were loving it. The engagement, it was supposed to be an hour. It lasted like 2.5. We had to cut it short, so thank you. All right. I think he's been on here a few times. You should know him. The Marcus, the gentleman. Tell the people who you are anyway. You're muted.
Hi, my name is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and I am honored to be here. I am the host of the incredible show, me and my co-host Carmia Wells, the Unorthodox Southern Belle. We are on all YouTube channels. Anywhere you get a podcast like this great podcast, you're tuning in, and we host an incredible show as well, just having the conversations that we need to thrive and succeed and win. And it's a true honor to be here among these professional men. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to serve.
We appreciate you. All right, Mr. Griffin, can you tell the people who you are and why you're here?
Hi, good evening, Ja. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here amongst this panel. My name is Jamal R. Griffin, owner of Ambiance Cocktail Lounge in Christiansted Town, St. Croix, where we get crafted cocktails. We upscale and create a level of elegance. I am also the owner of Justice Rain Group Consulting. I am a law enforcement officer, 20 years, and I am just happy to be here and excited to talk about the questions that you have presented tonight with this all-male cast. Again, thank you for having me.
Hey, and y'all should know me. If you don't, I'm gonna reintroduce myself. My name is Ja, Same Difference podcast host, also the host, kind of, I guess you could say co-host, because I have a co-host also of A Different Day with Ja and Krushan Gelnisi on 101.3 Row FM, the #1 station in the U.S. Virgin Islands also. And don't worry about nothing else. That's all you need to know. But tonight, I'm going to be your host for this all-star dynamic all-male panel. We did the all-ladies. Like I said, tonight we're going to do the men, and we're going to touch on topics that affect men. We're going to get right into it because we got a ton of questions and we want to get started. So, right off the top, anybody could go first. What does it mean to be a man in today's world?
So I'll tackle it from my perspective. To be a man in this world, to me, is men protection, right? Men need to work on themselves and work on themselves professionally, spiritually, financially, mentally. And so the biggest distinction for me that makes a man is his ability to protect and look after and cover others. And we are not doing that. We're not covering, we're not leading the charge in things that are important in the world and in various industries. And so protection, when it comes to mind, when you look at the relationship of our president with him and his wife, she doesn't feel safe, she doesn't feel guarded. The best men, the strongest men, are men who you feel comfortable with, you feel safe to be around. You don't choose the bear to be around, you choose that man because men protect at our core, and they feel safe. And so that's what manhood to me means.
Okay. Protection. All right. Who wanna go next?
So,
What does it mean to be a man?
Mr. Griffin here, I think ownership plays a lot in that. As Marcus spoke about, being a man and protecting, I think ownership is very important. A lot of men today are willing to allow anyone, women or anyone, go ahead and lead the charge, take care of them. And we have to get back to wanting to be, as he said, a protector, but owning that role. We've lost who we are as men, in my opinion, and we are now willing to just sit back and let somebody else drive when we should be the one steering that ship.
Okay. Thank you. What about you, Doc? You got something for us?
Yeah, when I think of manhood and men in this day and time, for me, I think we're men of wisdom and intelligence. I think we're men of vision. We are men of uniqueness. We are men of commitment, consistency, um, operating in excellence and operating in accountability. To me, that's what the men that I am in my circle with and I'm around, we hold ourselves to those particular kinds of things to use to describe who we are as men.
All right, thank you. Now, this question, Russ Ibra Francis says, that's the main job of a man, is to be a leader and protector of their family. So what happens for younger men who don't have a family? What's your position? Who are you, or what are you protecting?
So to me, you're protecting others and those around you, your circle of influence, right? You can't, and there's a fine line between protection and trying to change. Men, like Mr. Ambiance himself said, we're not stepping into roles. We're not taking charge of roles. We're thinking someone else should do it. And so we're not being about it. We're not entering those spaces anymore. And so not just family, but things that are significant. A lot of men stepped up when women's rights were being challenged and the protection of women's rights were being challenged. We need to see more of that and more men supporting and taking charge of those organizations, developing those programs, leading those charges to protect our women. That is our women as a whole, as a community, not just our household, but in facets of life that just need change, right? If we want to make a difference, be the change in your community. Don't just talk about it, right?
Facts.
Um,
Go ahead.
Mr. Griffin, you don't necessarily need to have a family to be a man. If you're a man, it's also a sense of brotherhood, right? My brother's keeper, my sister's keeper, the whole community, taking care of those around you, trying to make those around you better. If you see someone who needs a helping hand, you help them. Just being an all-around good person as a man. Again, protecting your village, protecting your people. That's what really being a man is. If you don't have that immediate family, because anyone is family, regardless to how you put it. The person that you meet tomorrow, if you can make something good for that person or help that person, that's being a man. So we can't just think about it a locked in box where we think, okay, am I a man because I protect my family, I provide for my family. What about everyone else outside of that circle?
That's good. That's good. George says being a man is accepting the weight of responsibility, suffering, and grinding through hardship, developing resiliency, and driving forward as a foundation of your family and community. Now, for some, that might not sound too enticing. You know what I'm saying? Suffering and grinding through hardship. Do y'all agree with that, though? That assessment from George?
Well, I think here's the misconception that I think is a part of that statement. Yes, are we supposed to take on responsibility and all of those things? Yes, that's what God gave to us. He gave us that responsibility. But here's the thing that happened. What he did was he said, it is not good for man to be alone. He gave it, and I remember having this conversation with a buddy of mine and saying, here we are, been put to have the responsibility of this whole world on our shoulders. And even, and I'm not getting preachy or anything like that here, but even God himself said that that responsibility is not supposed to be fully ours. And what he did as a result of that was say, hey, I'm going to give you someone who can assist you and who can be with you to take on that burden so that you don't always have to sacrifice, that you don't always have to bear the full burden, and that you can take on the responsibility, but you have someone that can also take on some of that responsibility along with you so that you aren't carrying that full load by yourself. If we were meant to only be the only ones who bear that burden, then there would be no need for anyone else. It would just be us here, and we would be responsible for everything else. So for me, I don't think that we, yes, do we sacrifice? Yes, I believe we do that wholeheartedly. But are we supposed to always do that and bear the full responsibility of it? No, absolutely not.
Is that
No.
the help meet aspect you're referring to in the Bible? Like, okay.
Yeah, the help meet and yeah, I mean that's the term that was used in there, help meet. But it's basically to me saying that we are not supposed to be the only bearers of the burden of the load of the family or even society of itself. It takes all of us in order to be able to do it, and specifically men. Too many of us get caught up in saying, we think that we're supposed to that being a man is taking on all the responsibility when that's far from truth, and that's why so many of us, so many men suffer in silence. That's why so many men take on those burdens and they become unhealthy because they're stressed out and they don't take the time to take care of themselves, yet alone others that are a part of their village.
Mr. Griffin, I think you had something to say.
Yes, when the question that George posed, it made me think about old island men, where it was just about go to work, make sure you had the money, you had the food ready, and all you did was work, and grind. But you had no relationship with anyone in your household, right? All you did was work. So the most conversation you got maybe was at the dinner table, if you were lucky, because they were so busy bearing the burden and the sacrifices that they were too manly to say I love you to their kids. There was no emotions. They just showed up when they had to, and that was pretty much it, because they were busy thinking about that sacrifice, and maybe it just came natural to them. And as you see, growing up now in our time, that wasn't necessarily the healthiest thing to do, because so many men have went without hearing from their fathers, I love you, or I care about you, because guess what? It was the man thing to do. You just take care of the home. We didn't have time for emotions. We didn't have time for sensitivity. But where did that leave that relationship, right? And in today, you honestly can say that wasn't necessarily the best approach. You want to say, yes, you're a man, but you're a man of a house. What's in the house? A family, wife, kids. You have everyone who's in that circle who also needs you, but you need them. So it's not just about bearing the burden.
So was that old school Caribbean man work and my wife does the cooking and the kids go? Was that wrong? Is that what we're saying?
No, it's not. I'm not. So everyone, no matter how we feel about it, we do have roles that we do take on.
For
We
sure.
take on roles. You take care of the yard. The wife takes care of the house, and sometimes you might coexist and help each other doing that as well. I'm not saying you won't. We give ourselves role, and there's nothing wrong with those roles, and it helps us feel better as a man, because I feel more manly cutting the grass. I feel more manly fixing things in the house. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but everything is in your burden to bear.
Yeah, I feel that. Marcus, you got something to say, or you good?
No, the gentleman said it very well. Suffering and grinding, even Jesus had 12 disciples. It's not good for a man to be alone. So when you brought up the notion
Run
of
that back.
I don't know how I feel about those 12 disciples. but okay. I mean,
he was surrounded.
We're good. Go ahead.
He was surrounded by men. Even as great as he was, he had a company of men and others to support him in the trials and tribulations that he had to endure. It's not, we are designed for connection. We are made for connection.
I agree with you, and to even expound a little bit on that too, when we talk about burdens and stuff, to show you that we were not meant to carry it all, the term equally yoked that gets used so wrong all the time, that was speaking of sharing of burdens also. So
yes, sir.
It wasn't necessarily just, you need to be the same religion, right? It meant carry the burden, because a yoke was put around oxen and beasts of burden to carry it, and you want to share that as a person. You want to be equally yoked. But yeah, so let me put it on that too. Let me read
Can I say something, John, about that? Yeah, you just brought something that I hadn't even paid attention to, because when most people talk about that equally yoked relationship, it's always talked about from the perspective of, like you said, you mentioned the religion. Are we making the same amount of money or doing something similar and everything like that? Never from the perspective of the two ox being equally able to move together and being able to have the burden of each other. So I like that you brought that out, and hopefully those that are listening will understand that perspective and say, you know what? Yeah, we have to understand that if we're both not sharing in that yoke that we're pulling, one is pulling more than the other, and it doesn't go anywhere, or it's even harder for them to go somewhere when they're not. So I like that, man. Thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you. Let me let George clarify. The suffering I speak of: emotional responsibility, the societal expectations, protection, responsibilities, friends or lack thereof, dealing with loss, etc. He said, I respectfully disagree. I didn't say all responsibility. All right. I just want, I bet you wish you had signed up so you could be on the panel, huh? You see that, George? Very true. Men weren't raised with balance. I hope once they realize their deficiencies, they try to do better. Jerica says, I think we are hyper-focusing on suffering and grinding through hardship. While I don't agree with the statement itself, I can see where George is coming from. Society has placed these burdens on men. In turn, we place them on ourselves, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't always say society says this. Like, we do it too. I could say I didn't have it that way in my life. My father used to and still tells me he loves me every day. I used to hug my pops and kiss his man until I've been like in 4th grade. I just don't believe you should be ashamed to express yourself as a man. And at some point, we kind of, that's what we learned though, to be hard. Whenever you heard, men don't cry and all of that stuff, all of that was training you to bottle up those emotions. And too often as men, the only time we fully express ourselves is in anger. Other than that, we don't get to express the full range of emotion. A hefty burden that they no longer have to maintain. Amen. Let's hope so. Honestly, as a man, we was raised to think the wrong ways, raised to think that we have to take on all the responsibilities, don't show emotions, but still don't be a simp at the same time. The one moment we express feeling, we get called out for complaining like a woman and so on. That's facts. I got a video that I want to play, and it kind of plays into what Mr. Griffin was talking about earlier. I want to see what the men have to say on this one.
My angle, I believe the women are constant. I believe that the problem are us. The problem are the men. It's not the women. We put too much responsibility. We've shirked our responsibility so much that they've had to be dad, uncle, mom. So the problem is us. The problem is we're not operating within true manliness. We're not really taking the responsibility. Like, this is our fault. You know, anything that's going on, all of this gun violence on St. Croix, St. Thomas, I mean, shoot, I got links to Tortola there too. It's us, it's the men. Someone's uncle, father, grandfather, big cousin failed. Simple. They didn't speak to that guy. What are you doing? What are you doing? So that's the problem. It's a shirking of responsibility is the case.
Are we the problem? Are we the men the problem? Who wants to tap in on this one first?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I think we are part of the problem. We are not the only ones that have a problem, and I think we've kind of touched on it a little bit, where we have allowed society to define who we are, and we've allowed society to be able to tell us and define us as men, as opposed to having a clear understanding and what we've learned and what we need to unlearn from our, from our parents, or from our fathers, what that should really look like. And do we have to own up to not doing some of the things that we were supposed to as men? Absolutely we do. We drop the ball. I say it all the time that I'm 57, so I'm a part of the Gen X generation, and I've always said that it's every generation's responsibility to make it better for the next generation. And what our generation has not done is properly prepare the generation that's behind us for adulthood. And I hear it every day when I'm listening to social media, when I'm hearing the conversations that are being had. We have dropped the ball. Specifically as men, we have dropped the ball because we just have this mentality. And I'm sorry, fellas, I'm not trying to offend anybody tonight, where the only thing that we talk about that defines manhood is protection and providing. And there is more to manhood than protecting and providing. And even within those two dynamics, it's always talked about protection is talk about strength. The only thing that you'll hear them say, well, if somebody comes and breaks into your house, and who's going to get up and go? That's not what protection is. Protection is not only physical protection, but it's mental protection, it's emotional protection, it's psychological protection, it's spiritual protection. All of those things that we need to be, that we need to have, and we as men haven't been equipped with it. Many of us haven't been equipped with it. And the providing is always talked about, as we've talked about here, is making sure that the bills are paid. That's what protect and provide. It seems to be the only things that are talking about, as opposed to we as men must protect ourselves. We can't even protect ourselves because we're in such a mindset that we really aren't even in the right mindset and the right mind to be able to be able to communicate, connect. And as the brother was saying, we've been taught to go to work, come home, eat, do it again. Come home, you go to work, eat, come home. You might be with the kids for an hour, if you're even communicating with them at all. And there's no connection with anyone in the family because it's always been taught to us that you have to be the provider. You have to be the one to go out and go to work all the time. And I'm not saying we're not supposed to go to work. We are supposed to go to work, but we have to place a priority on making sure that our children are nurtured, that they are taught from a male perspective. And I think that's what's got lost. And I think that's part of the responsibility that we have, that we've dropped.
Woo. Woo. It putting a lot on us. All right, fellas. What do y'all think? Are we the problem? We the issue?
No, I don't. No, we are not the problem.
Okay,
Not all
explain.
of it. Not all of it. So one of the things that someone can make a compelling argument against is men were systematically oppressed and separated from the black household. So someone can provide clear evidence that that is true. I'll give you an example. I hate to hear when someone tells a young man, "Hey, you're not good at math." Some men are taught to believe that, hey, you're not good at math. Every money you get, give the money to your wife. Let the wife handle the household. Let the wife handle the finances because she's better at money. I hate to hear those statements being made, because if you look at society in the higher areas of math, where math is putting, I'm not talking about ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. I'm talking about the higher levels of math. If you look around the collegiate level, who's in those spaces? Who's the math teachers? Who's the math professors? Right? And I'm not knocking women. There are women in those spaces, but the predominant force is men. So these are things that are taught to men and shown to men that I'd like to push back. So it's not our fault. We're being taught something to believe it to be true, but it's not our fault that men are actually good at math. Naturally, we're good at math. So men are not the problem.
Mr. Griffin, you want to weigh in before I say my piece?
The one thing I'd say is we are part of the problem because, again, you can't say we aren't the problem if we also continue the trend of the problem. So you get my point? So to say that would be, conflicting. So we continue to preach it, we practice it, and we continue a pattern that we know is not necessarily right. And we all have a part to play in it. You hear women say the same thing what men say, just be a man about it. Or you hear women say, I can't teach my son to be a man. Well, what does that necessarily mean? And to her definition, when you hear it, to be a provider, to be a protector, the same things that we keep harping on. That was the very first thing when we started this show. Well, what makes a man? A protector and a provider. We've progressed into different phases of what manhood should mean or means today, which is sensitivity, being well-rounded, protecting not just your family, but the people around you. But it still sticks to the core, because you ask almost anyone in our community or any Black community, and that's the forum where we're on right now, what does it mean to be a man? And those were the two things you'll constantly hear. I remember seeing maybe a 6-year-old boy crying and being told, stop crying, be a man. Like, same thing that you always hear. So you're taught at a very young age to bottle your emotions. That's based on what you've been taught. And guess who's doing that? Men. So yes, we are part of the problem.
Oof. All right. So, just walk with me for a second, man. Just walk with me. So I think, and you really gotta follow what I'm saying, right? I think that we are the problem. When I say it, I'm not saying that women aren't problematic. Also, what I'm saying is there's no metric or standard of leadership where men aren't supposed to be in the lead or leading. When you hear women talk about what they want a man to do in their life, they want him to lead, right? When you talk about the church, who's supposed to lead there? When you talk about at work and all of these other places, who are they saying are supposed to lead? In your community, who's supposed to be leading in your community? And when it comes to leadership, the buck will always fall on the leader. So if your community is at odds and it's in disarray, you have to put the ownership on the leader at the end of the day. Like,
so those same positions are occupied by women these days. You said the church, there are women in the church leading churches, right? You can't blame men and then put a woman as your leader. You cannot, in the school systems, you can't put a woman in office and vote for a female in office. Women are occupying positions of parliament. Women are occupying positions that were normally dominated by men. Thank you, equal opportunity. Here's the equal opportunity. But now you blame me for allowing you into the space that you wanted access to. You can't blame me.
Did we allow them, or did they fill positions that men were not filling? Did they occupy spaces that were left empty by men that should have been doing those jobs?
They weren't empty. They women pushed into those spaces because of equal opportunity. Okay. They weren't. Men are still truck drivers. There are still more male plumbers than there are today. There are more male electricians. Those weren't empty spaces. But now, as you see in the trades, there's less people replacing those older men, and they're definitely not being replaced by women. Okay. So it's not my fault because you wanted access to it. Here's the access, but you still blame me? It's not my fault. It's not men's fault. It's not men's fault. You wanted it. You asked for it.
I believe it is men's fault. And we have to take responsibility for our part in that. We can't say, okay, that we're giving them access and then just say relinquish it. No, that part of our responsibility as men and women, and as a leader, if you're going to be a leader, is to say, you know what? Yeah, it's our responsibility coming in. The thing with women entering into the workforce, here's what happened here. And after World War II, I believe it was, when the men went off to war, there was no one to fill the positions in the manufacturers to do the jobs that needed to be filled there, because stuff still needed to get done. So, i.e., women started entering the workforce. And as they entered the workforce, what you had was, this country realized we can make more money if women are in the job market as well. That means more taxes. That means more for us to be able to do infrastructure. That means for us to be able to do more. And as women entered the workforce, they weren't looking to go back to the old ways. When the men came home, they weren't looking to go back into the home, just taking care of the kids, washing the clothes, cleaning the house. They wanted to do more than that. They started to get education. They started to take that education and to be able to enter into the workforce at an even greater capacity. When you look at, depending on the industry that you look at, women will be the majority. Now you look at, there are more female teachers than there are male teachers, and typically black male teachers. We're not in that field. They are trying to get black men recruited to go into that particular industry. So we can be mindful, and that would have an impact on how our children, come through school, what they learn, what they see, all of those things. I don't think I saw a black male teacher until I got to college. I'm sitting here thinking about it. Yeah, I didn't see one until I got to college, and I went to an HBCU, so I was for sure going to see one. But all through my high school, my elementary, middle, high school, I did not have. I had black female teachers. My father was an educator, so he was a part of that. And that's how I know that. And then when I got to college, I would regularly see them. But for the most part, when you look at the industry, when you look at different industries and you see the representation, men dominate, like you talked about plumbing and electricity. But if you get into certain other industries, women are the predominant, people in some of those industries as well too.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you respond if you got a response, Marcus. If not, I'm gonna go on to the next thing.
The same space that he said women now occupy positions in the military, right? A position that they neither wanted, now they're in there. I don't think that's something we initially kept them out of there. They were allowed to join the medical corps. They were allowed to enter support roles, but women continued to push into that industry. And now they're occupying, there's female officers, there's female infantry women. Mm-hmm. That's not men's fault. You wanted access. Here you are. Here's access. Oh, what? I got to die? I got to go to war? No, let me get pregnant and get out of this deployment. That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
Mr. Griffin, you want to respond? Are you good?
I'm a military member myself.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I have served for 14 years, and I have been around many women who serve, and they do not intentionally get pregnant, so they don't have to go, quite frankly. Especially in the Virgin Islands, the Air Force particularly has more women than men. So these are women.
I wonder why.
These are women who are proudly serving and going to, the different deployments overseas and several times over. So these are strong women who actually believe in what they're doing, serving their country. So I can't necessarily say that's the case. I don't know the experiences that some people have had, and I'm sure people do it. People come up with whatever reason. Men and women come up with reasons why they shouldn't go to deployments. But everything that a woman is doing today, yes, it's equal, because they should be treated equal. They should have the rights that we have, especially in today's society, to do the same thing. So it's not necessarily a fault. I don't think that they're saying, give it to me, and then when they get it, oh, it's too much of a workload. I mean, in some situations, things happen. But at the end of the day, I disagree. There's many men who do the same thing. But the same rights that were given to them.
Listen to me clearly. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that women are entering these spaces. The question was, is it men's fault? It's not our fault. Women wanted access to these spaces. Women wanted to occupy positions of parliament, join the military, all of that. That's not our fault to blame. They wanted it. We gave it to them. I'm not saying women are joining the military not a good thing, or we should put a stop to that. We should allow that. But it's not our fault. You can't blame me if you get what you wanted and then you blame me for it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to clarify something really quick. And maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. Is it that women were asking for leadership positions? Is that what the question was around? And then they had to, we had to relinquish some of those positions. I'm not getting, because Marcus was saying that they asked for accessibility to these jobs, and is it our fault that we gave it to them? And I don't. They had to fight for those positions that they got. We didn't just give them to them. They had to fight for them. They're still fighting in some aspect to get access to to some position that they want to, and that is our fault.
So this jumped off of what I had said in reference to us being leaders and spaces. There being holes, gaps, and spaces being left unfilled that a lot of women entered into those, right? So let me bring it back around. In your household, this is Joy Ferris speaking. Women stepping into the workplace does not release men from being leaders of their household or communities. That's what I was referencing, being the leader in your household, in your community, in your church, and all of that. In your household, are you the man supposed to be the leader of that household?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin, what do you think? Yes, right?
100%.
So now, if your household is in disarray, whose responsibility is it to fix that?
Mine.
Yours. We all agree, yours. Now, if your household is in disarray and you're the leader, what's a community if not a larger group of households? So who's over those? And if the community is in disarray, whose fault is it?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like we
yes,
think
sir.
too much one when we're all groups of households. It starts from in your village is in your house, and then it spreads outward. If you're the leader of that village, every other man in their house is also the leader of that little village, and then we're supposed to lead the community. So it doesn't matter what other jobs the women may have within the community. Overall, the buck stops with us.
And John, that goes to, I've always asked this question. and I don't know how much of a history that you all go back and talk about this. When they talk about us as black men leaving the household, when black men were forced out of the household, we were forced to move out because, in order for women to do this and do that. And my question has been to us as men, just that very thing that you just said. If you call yourself the man of the house, how is it that you were forced out of your own household? What was it? Were you forced out or did you walk out? When it came to those terms, what you just talked about, and why our households are in such disarray and why our communities are in such disarray, because we haven't stepped into that leadership position that we are supposed to be in and have always supposed to be in, and we've let it go because of whatever reason that we've chosen to let it go. I've yet to get anybody to answer that question.
You know what? Overall, I don't like, and I think I don't like this trait that I've been seeing. You try to talk to men nowadays about like, hey, we need to, and they're gonna hit you with, but what about? But the women, you see that's why I'm like, we have to take responsibility, because in order for us to fix something, we need to say, hey, I'm gonna take charge here. Not, but what about what she's doing? Why are we looking at what women are doing when we as men could go ahead and start something? They're doing great. The black women in our community are doing amazing. They're the ones getting all the education, the money for real. Like they're doing well. You were gonna say something? So Griffin, you were gonna say something?
Yes, if remember ownership.
Yeah, that's all it is. You gotta start with us. Elroy says women want leadership regardless of ability. A woman would want to be promoted in the police or fire department, but cannot detain a suspect on her own, or as a firefighter break down a door. Women are great at studying to pass a test, but most often lack the physical ability to do the job at the basic level. And most people, regardless of gender, would not respect a superior that can do the job. I'd like to say at this point, any comments do not individually reflect the opinion of the broadcaster. All right, I'm just reading the comments. But let's move on here. I got another video I want us to watch. Shout out to Dialogue 340. I took 2 clips from you guys. You guys are doing great. Thank you. How do you feel about apologizing? Watch this clip and then we'll go into it.
What I've noticed, I remember when I was trying to go through this phase of life and figuring it out. And I remember, and I'm so glad, I didn't feel like if I apologized, or I didn't feel like I diminished myself. And I've noticed that a lot of times when I engage younger brothers, that apology is almost as if they're soft. They take it as a diminishment. In actuality, to be man enough to apologize is big. So I think that paradigm has been misconstrued. You understand?
Ability to apologize being looked at as soft. Have you ever experienced that? Anyone?
I don't see that being the case. I don't have a problem with apologizing. If I believe I'm right, I do not want to apologize if I think I'm right. Sometimes you want peace, so you apologize. And that's
honest.
That's what it is. You want peace, so you apologize, and you try to make it seem as sincere as possible. However, because you will go back and forth all day. But if I know, I may say something and I might think I might be right. But guess what? After some dialogue and we hash it out, I realize I was wrong and I think about it, I will apologize. You know, it really doesn't make sense to be wrong and strong.
Okay.
But yeah.
So if you want peace, you gotta apologize. All right, what do you think? Marcus, you muted again, bro.
If I find myself needing to apologize again, you call it being trapped in an echo chamber. It's nice to have healthy perspective on things outside of your echo chamber, outside of your bubble. And so if someone brings content to me or bring new information that I didn't know of, then yes, I will apologize in that regard. I think it's a good quality, a strong quality to have. If you think of the great philosophers, Greeks, they discovered stars, built temples, Egyptians built the pyramids because of people coming together and having a conversation without it being an argument, right? Disagreeing with you in a pleasant way. So if I'm wrong about something and you bring new data to me and I am wrong, I'm happy to apologize. But I have experienced what you brought out, Ja, which I have felt a way about apologizing as a man when it comes to operating in masculinity, and that's not a masculine trait. I have felt like that. Yes.
That's real. Thank you for being honest. That's real. What about you, Dr. Leroy? You ever had that issue?
No, I've never had a problem with apologizing if I'm wrong. That's a different story if I'm standing 10 toes down or something,
Yeah.
and I feel strongly, and I have the proof of what I'm saying. Now if as Brother Marcus was saying, if you give me a different perspective and how to look at something, be like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that would be right. I have no problem with apologizing, with saying, you know what, yeah, I was wrong about that. Please, yeah, I'm good. I see what was wrong. I see what my fallacy is. But if I'm on something and I believe I'm right, woo, yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it until you can prove what I'm saying wrong. So.
I'll admit that I've struggled with apologizing. It's hard. And I don't think it's because I saw it as being soft. It was just hard to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it was shame, embarrassment, or what of being wrong, but I've struggled with it, and I've worked on it as I got older to where I actually will like recite in my head, thank you for the correction. Thank you for the correction. Because like, there's one thing they love to do on the internet, and that's correct you. You want something to go viral, post something wrong. You'll go viral just off the comments correcting you alone. So like, I have, it's something that I've been working on, and I apologize, and I even apologize to my children, which is something I never even got as a child too. I find that we need to apologize to our children as well for when we do something wrong. I don't think it makes us look less than. I think it's just acknowledging that you're human.
It's definitely strength.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now,
but I think too. No, just real quick. Part of being a leader is the ability to be able to be accountable for what the actions that you've done. If they're wrong, you as the leader have to accept that. Yeah, I was wrong about that. But here's what I'm doing to correct it or to fix it and everything like that. That's a leader. A leader is able to accept, and apologize if they are wrong.
So, Mr. Griffin, pointed out something about peace. You pointed out something about wanting peace. And one of the questions addresses that today. Do men really want stability and peace? Is that true? Do we really want stability and peace? I'm assuming this means in relationships.
Yes, men want stability and peace, but I think because you talked about this yesterday on your live as well, in a different day. Men want peace, men want stability, and you gave the example that we also need clarification on what peace looks like, right? And we need to also be able to communicate what peace looks like for us. And that requires you to get to know your partner. So ladies who hear men saying, I want peace, right? Peace looks different from man to man. And so in order to figure out what men mean by that, you have to go to your man that you're interested in building a life with and find out what peace looks like to him, right? And that's the inner work. That's the courtship. That's dating, right? But as a whole, men are going to say peace and consistency and all the things, but each man is different, and peace looks different from man to man.
Facts. What's that? Griffin?
So I'm here trying to ponder that question, right? Do men want peace and stability? That was the question. Do men want peace and
Yes.
stability?
That's the exact question.
And my thought is that person, and I'm just kind of coming up with a story here. When someone says a question, does a man want peace and stability? They're saying, well, if they want peace and stability, they should act a certain way to get peace and stability. And you can't tell me what my peace and stability means from you asking the question. Of course, a man wants peace and stability. What does that mean for that man? It's what that means for that man. You have to ask him that question and accept his answer for what is his peace and stability, not what you create. And I am here pondering when that person asks that question, because it's kind of vague and you have to, of course, narrow it down to relationships in this forum. It's more of a, I think, as if they're looking for some sense of justification with the question. That's just my thought. Because how do you determine if someone wants peace and stability? I could ask anyone, any random person, do you want peace? And I mean, who's going to say, no, I don't want peace. I just want to fight every day of my life. Oh, no, I don't want to be stable. So I think that person asked that question. It was very personal to them. And I want to say, when it was like, if men want peace and stability, they should act right. Again, that's just me coming up with my thought process, my
silent part. Okay.
You know.
What about you, Dr. Leroy?
Yeah, fellas, y'all not gonna like me with this answer. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna say no. Men do not want peace and they don't want stability. Because here's the thing: peace starts from within you. You have to first be at peace with yourself, and there are too many men out here who don't have peace within. And that's why I believe you hear them always saying, well, I want peace, because they don't have it within themselves. Because if you have peace within yourself first, then everything else that's interior, the exterior of who you are becomes peaceful, because you won't allow anyone to disturb the peace that you have within you. So them saying that they want peace and stability, there are too many men out here suffering in silence. Me and my buddy, one of my friends, we talk about it all the time, because there are so many men out here hurting. They're hurting and they don't want to do the work of having that peace that whoever the person that was asking about. Dude, and that's a hard question for men. Men they'll say it easily. Yes, I want peace. Of course I want peace. But here's the question that I'll ask every brother that says that he wants peace and stability. What are you doing to create that peace and that stability in your life? And I promise you, that if they did some digging, if they have to do the digging, they'll find out that they don't really have peace and that they really don't want peace, because peace takes work. Peace takes work, and a lot of men aren't willing to do that work in order to be able to have the peace that they say that they want.
Oof.
I don't know, doctor. I'd say everyone wants peace. Everyone may not be working towards peace, but everyone wants peace.
Okay.
But you can't have it if you aren't willing to work for it. You got to be willing to work for it. Yeah, I can say it all day, but you have to be willing to have that peace. And that peace starts from inside. I can't give you peace, and none of us can give each other peace. The woman that you're with cannot give you peace. She can't. Because at any moment, if you don't have that peace within inside, there's nothing she can do that's going to make you peaceful. Because that has to come from within first, and then you can kind of control whether or not she surrounds you with her peace. Because if she brings it, the first thing we're gonna say, don't bring that noise in here. No, I'm not trying to have that around me. And the men that get that, they get that, because they're those of us that want that peace, we're not letting anybody come and disturb that. I promise you, they're not. And they're willing to work for it.
I can't argue with it. Because once you got peace and you got Zen, nobody else could knock you off your square. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So is it that we want peace or we want our woman to be peaceful? Maybe that's what we're
Mm.
saying. We want a woman that's stable and peaceful. Could that be what's being said?
You know,
Yeah,
I
that could be
think
part of
I think in that one question could be an entire forum by itself.
it. Very true. Very true.
With that said, we will read some comments and move on. But first, we coming up on the 1 hour mark. I told you these could go longer than they do. I'll let if you have to go, I'll let you go ahead and sign out now. So let me know, fellas. Y'all good? Y'all riding with us? You gotta go. What's up?
I'm still good.
It's up
Yeah,
to
I'm
you.
good.
I can
I'm
ride
good. I'm
as long
enjoying
as
this.
I can ride. So let's see.
All right. Just let me know. But yeah, we're gonna keep going because I think we only hit like 4 questions. And the time just what? All right. Let's see. A person that has the humility to apologize when wrong has character, and no one should apologize just for the sake of peace, whether in relationships, friendships, or the workplace. A person that apologizes just to make others feel better will be labeled as a pushover, and that is not an attractive trait for a man to have. I gotta disagree with that one. 100%. Many do not understand that an apology represents strength, represents accountability of oneself. It should not be viewed as a weakness. Many are not taught how to say sorry or own their behavior. So Holly, here she come again. Men set the tone in the household. You gotta be what you want. Hey, we taking blows. The men taking blows today. It's us. It's us. All right. What a question we got here. Let's see what else we got. What keeps you men up at night? What is something that keeps you up at night?
I'll take this one.
All right.
One of the biggest things for me is my legacy.
Mm.
I think about when I'm gone, what does that mean for my daughters? What does that mean for who I was as a person? And as much as I'll be gone, so it doesn't matter or shouldn't matter, it does cross my mind often. What did I do to leave my impact on my family, on this world, my community? What mark did I leave? Did I leave it better? Did I do something to make my daughters proud? Are they going to talk back about me and say good things, or are they going to say bad things? All I have is daughters. And that keeps me up thinking, am I making the right moves for them? At the end of the day, am I setting the trend that they can follow and leave a positive mark as well? Am I doing a good job as a father? Those are some of the things that I think about often.
Legacy tends to be important for us men, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that more. That's definitely keeps me up at night. My own mortality, a man's mortality, and having to realize, right, just like what he said, if I died today, what would they write on my headstone? What is the impression that I think I leave for people behind me and those who come after me? And if I'm not happy with what I think they would write about me, then I need to change something. So my own mortality, a man's mortality does keep me up at night. My own mortality, especially surviving COVID, being hospitalized for a month and a half by myself, no family, no friends to visit me or check up on me. You definitely think of your own mortality.
Yeah.
And I still think of that to this day.
Yeah, you made it through. You're supposed to be here, man. You're supposed to be here.
That was a question that came up. Should I be here? I had given up. I had fell really low. Was resistant to care. Was resisting my nurses. Was resisting the doctors. You get really low when faced with your own mortality and the possibility of you not being here tomorrow.
That's real. What about you, Dr. Leroy?
Yeah, and I'm with the fellas. It's my legacy, and then the impact that I'm having, that I want to have on the world, and being able to impact people in such a way that I make them better. I make them better after they've had an encounter with me than before they had the encounter. My thing is every single day, and I tell my clients and I tell those that that I address that listen to me and everything like that. I wake up with the assignment of how can I make people 1% better each and every day so that they're better by the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year. And I go to sleep and wake up with that on my mind just every single day. As the brothers were saying, am I doing enough? And it seems as if, sometimes it's never enough, and sometimes it seems like it's, yeah, am I doing anything? Am I really having an impact? And especially when it comes to my legacy, because I have this, one of my I am statements, and this is what I have. One of my I am statements is I am building my legacy every day. And I say that because every single thing that I do every single day is building my legacy. It's not, our legacy isn't just what we have once we're gone. We're building it every single day. And what my question to myself is, what am I doing to build my legacy for today? So that if, like you all were saying, if I leave this earth tomorrow, what is my legacy? What has my legacy been, and the impact that I've had on those people that have had an encounter with me? We just lost Reverend Jesse Jackson, and the impression that he left on me. The first thing I remember when I heard of his passing was I am somebody. That's the legacy that I remember that man by, because he gave a speech back in, I think that was in the 80s when he gave that particular speech, or the part of a speech. But this was a man who had a legacy that he left, not only with his family, but those of us that know him and know his background and know the civil rights part that he played and everything else. But I am somebody. That's what I'm talking about when I think about what keeps me up at night.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I gotta just concede. Yeah, that's pretty much what keeps me up at night. Is that's what gives me anxiety. What am I doing? What I should be doing? Am I handling my business? You know what I'm saying? Like when like I'm over 40 now, I'm over that hill, and yeah, your mortality comes into play. I also am a girl's dad and stuff like that. Like, would they be with somebody like me? Am I gonna be the dad that they talk about? Because when I hear other girls talk about their dad so fondly, I'm like, damn, is that gonna be how my name is played? You know what I'm saying? When it goes down, how will people remember me? And I do wonder also, if the ladies in the comments, if y'all could do y'all worry about legacy? Like, is that a man thing? Like, do women worry about how their name is gonna be displayed down the timeline? Y'all let us know, man. In the meantime, I got one. I gotta play this from Nisha, because me and her were going back and forth in the messenger about this that I'm about to play for you. I want to see what the guys think about it. I feel my way. Obviously, I'll go last, but I'm gonna play this. And guys, tell me what you think about this video. It's related to protection.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look very pretty.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. Is that your brother?
No, that's my boyfriend.
Oh! I just thought you looked cute. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Thank
my
you.
bad.
I mean,
You feel me? I can still get your number.
you're not gonna say nothing?
What do you say? It's you.
I mean, so you don't care? Like, he's talking to me, you're not gonna say nothing?
I care.
He's asking for my
What do
number,
you wanna
you're not
say?
saying anything.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
No, you're the man. You're supposed to say something.
I'm supposed to say something right now?
You're the man.
What if I wasn't?
Honestly, like,
Okay.
you can get my number. Don't worry about him.
Okay, here you go.
All right. So in that particular video, right? In that video, a popular, I guess, prankster, YouTuber, whatever, streamer, he does this. He'll just see random couples out, go up, touch, try and hold the girl's hand, start hollering at the woman while her man is right there. Personally, I think he needs to stop before he gets shot. But what do you fellas think? Because this was a whole back and forth today for me.
There was an influencer who did the same thing and got jacked up by the man.
Yeah.
Y'all really need to stop testing men.
Yep.
I get why the man, I think he saw the camera. That's number one. He's looking dead at the camera. So I think I get why he didn't react. I think men can sense when they're, especially in this day and age, when you don't know who's carrying. But I don't think he was wrong to see what she's going to do. Right? What is your reaction to this man trying? You pulled away when he tried to snatch your hand. Okay, that's great, but he's asking for your number in front of me. What are you going to do? Because I'm not always going to be around. Stepping in those instances, I am very on the fence when it comes to stepping in as a man. For women, he went after her, but again, I don't think he's wrong for wanting to see how she's going to react to this guy asking for her number in my presence. It's not necessarily a me to react right away. And I don't think he was wrong to not react instantly to this man hitting on his girlfriend, wife, whoever she is. I don't think he was wrong, especially in this day and age where everybody can carry.
Okay,
Okay.
Go ahead.
You got something to say?
Okay, so let me just give me a moment. Let me play this back, right?
Yep.
This YouTuber or whatever influencer walks up to a couple in a mall. He tries to speak to her, says, "Hey, is this your brother?" "No, it's my man." Correct?
Yes.
He said that.
I can play it again.
Mm-hmm.
No need. I just want to and then, "No, that's my man. And can I get your number?" Came in there. No, well,
Yes.
so the boyfriend was like, "Well," so she said to the boyfriend, I think, what are you going to do? Right?
Yeah.
And then he says, "Well, what are you going to do?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the point where she said, "What are you going to do?" Like, I mean, that's already a weird spot to be in, but what are you going to do? For me, it's like, all right, boss, you're being disrespectful. She already told you that I'm her man. Back up. Now, if it turns confrontational, I mean, it can go a lot of different ways. Right? But me thinking now, because guess what? I'm not in that spot right now. I can say anything I want, but I'm not in that spot. The best thing to do is, all right, let's go. I'm not about to play these games with you, and keep in mind, I am law enforcement. I'm backing away and still keeping my eyes on you because I don't know your game. I don't know what you're about. People do some silly things. However, if she asks, what are you going to do to me, as she's asking me, her man, what are you going to do with this guy hitting on me? There's like, I'm not asking you, well, what do you want to do? I mean, you already told me what you want to do.
Brother, let me ask you, has that ever happened to you? Someone pressed your girl in front of you? Has that ever happened to you? I think I know the answer, but I'm asking.
No, that has never happened to me.
You know why? Because you're a man. And you're there, and your presence is there. But
that was a scenario just now.
That was the scenario, but I'm saying that has never happened to you. That would never, brother. That would never happen to you.
Twice. It's happened to me twice.
Someone has pressed your girl in front of you.
You hear what I'm saying?
Don't get me wrong.
It's happened. Trust me. Just because a man is there doesn't mean that brothers will disregard that. Will push.
That has never happened.
They will still. I mean,
I have witnessed this. I've seen it happen
to other men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've seen it happen. So it's not like it can't happen. I'm just saying
it definitely can.
And I'm not saying homeboy is wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. My only point is when she said, "What are you gonna do?" If I remember, she said, "What are you gonna do to him?" Like, "Hey, you're my man. What are you gonna do with this situation?" The safest thing is to say, "Listen, you're being disrespectful," or just take your girl out of the situation. I'm not saying get into a big fight. I'm not saying get into a confrontation. Again, like you said, you don't know who has what, just to keep it safe, right? But at that point, there is no, well, what do you want to do? I mean, then guess what? Okay, since you got nothing to do, here's my number. Since you so cool with it.
And that should have never happened. Once she said that's my man, she should have just left it right there. And look, I'm not trying to be bothered, No,
She
she
did.
didn't make it. No, she looked at her boyfriend and was like, "What you gonna do?"
Right,
She
because she
could.
left it. She was done with it. Hey, what are you gonna do, my
Hold
man?
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. No,
Nah,
I'm.
I
Go ahead, Dr. Leroy.
no, I mean, I'm just saying, it, in that situation, when he asked her, is it your cousin or something like that? And she was like, no, that's my boyfriend. And he kept talking and saying, well, that's your boyfriend. She said yes, okay. And since he chose not to leave it alone, she could say, look, how you going? She could have embarrassed the dude and be like, how you gonna ask me for my number in front of my man? Now, if he doesn't want to relinquish and let it go, then yeah, the boyfriend needs to step in and say, partner, she done told you what's up. You need to step off. Or as brother Jamal was saying, hey, dude, let's go. We ain't got time for this young acting, stuff like this. Let's go. Let's be out. And you avoid confrontation. That type of thing. But for her to say, what you gonna do? It was like she was egging him on for something to happen. And that can go left real fast.
And
Quick,
that's
fast, in a hurry.
and that's part of my problem with stuff like that is women egging men on to get shot. Right? Women egging the man on, like, what you gonna do about it?
Right.
You pressing me, what you gonna do about it? Now, brother, now I step in to defend your honor or defend whatever the hell I'm defending, and now I end up dead.
It turned into a test for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
That she could have just simply ended, right?
Check
But you
this out.
want to get me involved. And
check
now
this
I'm
out.
dead because of something you couldn't shut down?
And that
You couldn't
happens
shut
all
down
the
this
time.
man from
And that happens all the time. And it's not just boyfriend, girlfriend. It's, wait till I go get my brother. Oh, I'm gonna go get my
Right.
cousin and all of that. It happens all the time.
and then the cousin jump in, the cousin
Yep.
is dead, and the girl is still living.
And somebody
Right.
goes to jail.
Or the cousin winds up doing something, and the cousin winds up in jail because he done did something to to the other brother. So it can go those kinds of videos and stuff. Folks got to realize that this is real life. Y'all can you keep messing around, you're gonna mess around on the wrong day with the wrong dude, and the wrong thing gonna happen.
That's
Bro.
why I said ain't nobody running up on Mr. Griffin here.
Hey.
I knew that answer from the jump.
Yeah.
I knew that
Mr.
answer
Griffin
from the
look like he a
jump.
big dude.
He running up on Griffin.
Yeah, you a
He
big
ain't gonna
dude,
even
bro.
test
I'm
that
saying.
theory. He ain't gonna even test that theory.
So I'm gonna run the play by play because I really did go through this thing frame by frame, right, fellas? So look at just the beginning and look at how she looks at him. Look at how she smiles. Notice they're playing the music, right?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look very pretty.
So first of all, it went on for too long. That play went on for too long for me. A stranger coming, invades your space, he grabs your hand. First of all, I think you should pull away and then come to me. Come to your protection. Like Saheli says, right? She should have walked to her man. She took that play, then she turns to her man, and she should be mad at the guy who just grabbed her hand, who she doesn't know, without her consent, right? That's what she should be upset with. She turns her anger at her guy and all of that, and does all of that. So first of all, I see why he played it like that, because the way you looking and showing off 32 and what you want me to protect you from, it looked like you ready to go, like you good. So where does protection come in? When he asked her, is that your boyfriend? She acknowledged that's the boyfriend and stuff like that. That's when, all right, no, you need to back up. You're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have stepped in at that point because she's told you. And now you really disrespected me for real. But yeah, Griffin, what you got?
I'm just here thinking like, they could play those games in different areas. Maybe it's our island ways. Here, I don't know if that would play so well here. I just don't think it wouldn't play well with me. But I think I would be more baffled by the fact that someone even did it to me. It's not even that they did it to the woman. It's just that I was there and you still thought you could do it. So that would be my first problem. But I didn't, and as I'm thinking here, I'm like, man, people really have to do scenario based training in your relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a real thing, and people get tested all the time.
Like, if
But
this happens, what are we gonna do, babe? If this happens, if a guy, I mean, because these are the games that people are playing nowadays, right? Where they're trying to talk to your girl in front of you and all this foolishness that can get you shot. So what was
but
that?
those are pranks. That's the stuff that they call
Right. That
pranks.
can get you hurt. That can get somebody hurt.
And
And so
someone has
right, it's not good, but obviously they're doing it for social media to get those views, which is the new thing. But in that scenario, the biggest thing I got from that, yes, is it happened. It went on for too long, and at the end of the day, what I would have liked to see the man do, the boyfriend do, is get himself out of that regardless.
true. True.
Yep.
My thing here, because some of the comments are touching on it. I was putting some words on a stranger. Her response to him was way too polite. It makes a man wonder, how do you operate when I'm not here? You get what I'm saying? Like, imagine when her man ain't present. You smiling up and being all super polite. No, he invaded your space. He's touching you without consent. I would think you'd be angry. You're more angry at him than the stranger that just violated you. So if I wasn't here, what would you have done? And that we have to understand that that's a piece of it too, you know. Because if the way that she was looking, I wouldn't have liked that. Even though I would have intervened, I would have had a talk with her after also. Like,
Because if it was a dog, you'd be up under me, right? A rabid dog
Exactly.
trying to bite you, you'd be up under me.
Exactly.
But, so you're not fearful of this man who you smirking,
Yeah.
thank you. Nah,
Maybe we need to burn the
no.
house down over a spider. But this man grabbing up on you, are you cool? No.
Well, I have a question for you, Ja. You said it happened to you before, correct?
Twice. Happened to me twice within a week.
Twice.
Same story. That's what they were going.
You said it happened in St. Croix?
Yeah, twice.
Okay. And well, if you are willing to, the reaction from the woman, I'm assuming was kind
She
of
went off. She went
she was,
off.
yeah. So my thing is, they could play those games in certain areas. I'm trying to imagine those games in the Virgin Islands that I don't see that faring out so well for.
Like the
folks like that.
girl who is more likely to swing.
Yes,
You know
she's
what I'm
gonna.
saying? Like,
A VI woman is not taking that so lightly. You know, I'm
That's
not
like-
saying when you're not there, it might not be a different story.
yeah.
But in your presence and she's thinking the gall, you know, the nerve of this guy, and
Exactly.
she's, you know, so
Listen, the thing about it, I'm expecting a snap. Because that's how quick it'll happen in a jam when somebody come up and try to steal a wine, you ready to swing. So this time with a slow motion smile and oh yeah, no, you're supposed to be barking like a dog at this nigga. What are you doing? Nah. But oh well. On to the next thing. Unless somebody else gets something. I done knocked my damn mouse out. Hey, what else? Y'all ready to move on? We got some
Yes,
more
sir.
questions.
Yes,
All
sir.
Let me see what else we got. What is one thing you have learned that you wish you were taught in your childhood? What would you tell your 16-year-old self? Ooh, that's a hard one, huh?
I have an answer. What I've learned love. I've learned it's okay to love. That was not necessarily something that was strong in my household. We weren't big on smiling. We weren't big on, it was just hard work, grind, do what you got to do. I didn't grow up in a household that said, I love you. You know, it was just be a man, do what you got to do. But I exchange, I love you with my daughters all the time. All the time. You know, my daughters are always around me. They're always troubling me. It's hugs and kisses. Just yesterday, my daughter was teasing me, my 13-year-old, you're not as cool as you think you are. Those are the conversations we can have. I didn't have those conversations with my parents. It was just, honestly, it was just basic survival life lessons. This is how you mow the lawn. This is how you shave. This is how you drive a stick shift. This is how you create a meal. Just survival. It was like as if I was made to survive. Be smart in school. Read your books. Go get a good job, and that was it. But with my kids, I express a lot of flexibility. You have a voice, and it's okay to love, and you will get love from me. So that's the one thing I would tell my 16-year-old self. Like, yeah, you learned what love really means.
Girls will soften you. Them girl dads, bro. What about you two?
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead. I'll go next. Yeah.
I wish I had learned to ask more questions. What I've learned and what I've read is the most successful people in the world growing up, their parents provided a space for them to ask as much questions and the freedom to ask as many questions, no matter how difficult the response or the answer would be. They were provided a space and an outlet and a medium to ask as many questions and get truthful, wholehearted answers. And I wish I was more of an inquisitive child to ask more questions to life, and ask about what's this and why is this. Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, as successful as she is, she characterizes her upbringing as a reason why one of the many reasons why she's successful today is because her parents, no matter how difficult the question was, she would answer it. Whether it be racism, why is the sky blue, they would answer it and they would tell her the truth.
So, I like that. All right, Dr. Leroy.
Yeah, I kind of the thing that I learned as an adult was being able to not be afraid to depend on other people. Because growing up, I was always taught, yeah, you figure it out. And sometimes figuring it out is being able to go to someone who has the resources or who may have access to things that you can use it and not be afraid. And it doesn't make you less of a man to be able to ask for help or to take help. That was one of the biggest things that I had to learn in this adulthood and manhood was, hey, it's okay to ask for help sometimes because we can't do it all. As we started off our conversation this evening, sometimes we can't do it all, and sometimes we do need help. And so I would tell my 16-year-old, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to always be the one to figure it out. You utilize the resources that you may have or the relationships that you may have, because those come in handy. And you have to trust people. So that's what I would say.
All right. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. So I'm gonna try this. We're gonna try a rapid fire segment as best you can. So no long speeches. We're gonna hit y'all with the rapid fire for these questions. All right. What does it really mean when a married man stops wearing his ring or wedding band?
He's fed up. He's exhausted. He is a battered man.
He's trying to hide something.
Ooh, he's hiding. What do you think? Griff, really in deep thought. What's up?
I think that man is living a double life.
All right, straight to the point.
That's a well-rounded answer.
All right.
That's good.
Yep. But here's the thing: if he's been wearing it long enough, it'll still show around his finger. There'll be an indentation there too.
Not in a dark club.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right about that.
So wait, you got to take it out. Why do men who just wanted sex start acting like they're your man after they get the sex?
Men are territorial.
Men are territorial.
Ooh.
Men,
You want the truth?
That's
when
me.
You want the truth?
when you have
I love the
gold,
truth.
when you found gold, you protect it.
Men are territorial.
And that's not just territorial, but brothers. All of us know if you got that
I
was
was-
really good.
If it's not,
I thought I summed it up with men are territorial. No,
yeah, if it's not, then I mean,
You, I'm gonna mess all of y'all up right now because this is how territorial we are. And most brothers, if you would have asked them, they still don't believe that their ex-wife, their ex-girlfriend from back in high school is with anybody else. They can't imagine or fathom them with somebody else but them.
crazy. Nah, you gotta get that good. So Holly says spiritual ties with the portal. That might sound sexy, but yeah, the territorial got it. I'd be interested in hearing the thoughts on why some men don't contribute to household chores/tasks. Financial support is not the only or sometimes ever the most important contribution to the household. Why aren't the guys helping out with the household chores?
because they feel as if they are contributing with the finances. And I'm in this sense where you brought the question.
Yeah.
They are contributing to the finances, and so you, in other words, well, and I'm going to be fair to the women, right?
Okay.
Women have to work. They work just as hard. They go, they take care of the kids. They got to come home, cook, clean, and do everything else. Yes, men still have that thought process, in my opinion. Well, I'm pushing the weight here with the finances, and I am taking care of, and there's a point that's missing, honestly. Yeah, I'm paying the finances, but I'm also doing the things that you don't want to do. I'm tossing out the trash. I'm mowing the lawn. When something is broken in the house, you want me to fix it, whether it be I pay for it or I do it myself. The things that you don't want to do. Again, there's gender roles, whether we like it or not. We create gender roles, and one minute. So men, if you are contributing to the finances, you're thinking, well, I mean, what more do you want me to do? At least, but I think there's still some discussion that can be done there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Leroy.
No, wait, see, this gets into that 50-50 thing that everybody wants to talk about, and I think I don't call it gender roles because growing up in my house, we had chores. Somebody did the dishes, somebody did the vacuuming, somebody did the cleaning. Those are chores. Those aren't gender roles. And it wasn't, it wasn't a thing where, I only did this or I only did that. The only thing that I know that I do all the time, no matter what, is take the trash out. That's just what we do. That's just what we do. It's no big thing. But as far as the gender roles and assisting in the household, that is a responsibility of the man as well. You should be. Just like when we talk about that 50, where you have women that say, well, he's supposed to pay all the bills. No. If you want him to pay all the bills, just like we just talking about, then your expectation should not be for him to have to live with a finger in that house.
Right.
That's not washing any clothes, not washing any dishes, he ain't cooking no food. If you're going to tell him that you're not going 50-50, then that's the expectation, because part of that 50-50 on the other side that you never hear anybody talk about is those household things that need to get done, or even taking care of the children. That's a responsibility of both parents. It took both of you to make them. It takes both of you to take care of them. It's not just having just paying the bills. It is being a part of that household and making sure, just as like we said, the expectation for women to contribute financially to the household. Those they go. There's an even dynamic with that. Don't expect one and then not expect the other. I'm just sorry. That's how I feel about that.
Griffin, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. So if I'm as a part of what you said, Doctor, if the man is taking care of all the bills, right? You're saying it's not fair for him to take care of all the bills and still you want him to take on all these chores? Is that part of what you said?
Oh, no. I'm saying he should. He should take on the responsibility of what he needs to take care of at the house too. Because in most households these days, you have two income. The husband is going to work. The wife is going out and going to work.
So just
So,
curious from
mhm.
me asking you if I'm hearing you. So let's just say in this case, you got a man. He's the only one who works. He's taking care of all the bills and taking the finances. Wait, and I'm using the word fair very loosely. Are you saying is it fair that he should still take care of the house as well? I'm just asking.
Because there's fear and
Yeah,
there's equity.
yeah, because I look at the house, and let's say that they have two kids. So he has no responsibility with the kids. He has no responsibility to be an active part in the children's life.
He 100%
Even though,
does.
yeah, he does. So it's the same, and he should want to, even though he does work and everything like that, we may work. Yes, he should want to make the what the wife is doing inside the or what's inside the house. He should be a contributor to that as well. I should say it that way. Even though he does go out and go to work, that's being an adult to me. It's
Right.
going out
So
and working and coming home and doing things.
right. That is, and at the end of the day, it's still work. If a woman is staying home all day, that is still work.
Correct.
Taking care of kids. If you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking care of a house, you getting the kids, you're making sure all this is done. That is still
Work.
a life. That is still work. So yes, I'm not saying so. Again, like you said, adulting. It doesn't hurt to pick up the broom. Not that I come home and why is this not done? Why is that not done?
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
No, I think the problem comes in where we mistake fair for what's equitable. Like, fair would be for us to split the chores down the middle. Equitable would be for us to split the chores based on who's better at it and our work schedules. Because it's unfair to think that a man that works 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts at construction to support for the family should also split the chores 50. No, that doesn't make sense. And it's also unfair to be with a woman that works and you work and expect her to do all the household stuff because she's a woman. So we that's where the problem comes in, where it's like, okay, we're gonna still pick and choose what gets done, even though the situation doesn't make sense.
One of the things I used to do when I used to date that used to mess up the women I was dating at the time is, if there's something you want me to do, help me get there, right? Help me do that thing, right? Because if I'm paying all of the bills and there's something I'm dropping the ball on that you want me to also do and I can't reasonably do it, help me get there. Help me achieve that thing that you want me to do, so I can help you achieve what you want to do. So a woman wanting, well, I want a provider. Okay, if I'm not already there, help me get you there. Help me get there so I can give you what you want, right? There's too many people walking into monogamous relationships wanting and asking and demanding certain things. And again, like you said, it's not equitable for me to do that.
Yeah.
If you want that, that's a fair ask. Help me get there if I'm not already there.
Jerica says 100, and each person's 100 looks different depending on the day. Tanisha is strict. She run a strict household. Nah, if she ain't working, she need to take care of the house, period. Kids included. The man gonna still help with the kids. They're talking about if she ain't working, he need to come home to clean too. That
I've seen that. There's an electrical company. There's a nuclear factory here. The man works in rotation, and he works those 16-hour, 18-hour shifts, like you said. He only gets like a couple days off, and then he's back on shift.
Yeah.
And then he still got to come home. He still got to fix the cars because she broke all of them.
Yeah.
She drove all of them to Timbuktu and back. The house is nasty. He got, you know what I'm saying? Like that's nuts.
If you have a good woman, you have a good woman, man. It would, a lot of things question, and they're gonna do what they need to do, especially when you know what your household has. Again, at 16 hours, you work 6 days a week. There's not a realistic expectation of 50-50 in the household.
Okay.
You know,
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Good conversation. One more. Well, plenty more, but still, we got about 5 more questions to knock out.
run through.
How do men go about letting their friends know when they haven't handled something in the best way, when it's warranted, of course? For me, I just tell them. Contrary to popular belief, men do hold each other accountable. It's an easier, quicker conversation in my estimation. What do you guys say?
It's that for me is easy. I'll quicker tell my friend, my male friend, what I have to tell them than maybe a female or whatever the case may be. But we can have that dialogue. I've never had a male friend not just tell me what is on his mind, and we have good. It's legit as if you're having a good conversation with a philosopher at the end of the day, you know, because it's a healthy dialogue. You start reasoning, you start listening. It's like, okay, I get your point. We listen to each other. It's an interesting dynamic. I think if a woman could be a fly on the wall between two men holding each other accountable, it is very professional, and it's just
It's easy.
okay. Yeah, it flows. It really does flow.
It's easy. It's very
Well,
easy.
I'm a disagree. I'm a disagree with that. That it's
Okay.
easy because if it's your friend and if it's someone that you care about, yeah, that conversation isn't going to be an easy conversation to have because if they're messing up or if you messing up, that's not to me. That's not an easy conversation to have with them because like, look, it's like, bro, my thing would be, bro, what are you doing? And those conversations can get heated. Let's be real. And especially if that friend he ain't trying to hear what you saying, and he's like, nah, bro, yeah, no, nah, you were wrong, and he shouldn't have a problem with receiving it. But there are some times when we hard headed, we let our egos get in front of us as men, and we do it. I always think about the I don't know if y'all saw the movie Lean on Me with Robert Guillaume and what's his name? Oh, I got his head. But there's a scene where he's playing Joe Clark, this character named Joe Clark, and they're having this argument, knockdown. This is man to man. Look, you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're causing us to be able to have this happen. And they go at it. They go at it, and as soon as they finish arguing and getting it out, the character that Robert Guillaume was playing, he says, "Come on, let's go get something to eat." And that's how we, I see us as brothers. We need to be where we can have those difficult conversations, and they're not easy to have because if you're messing up, you're messing up. And I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you know as a friend because I love you that you're messing up, and we should be man enough to be able to talk about it because I'm gonna hold you accountable for it. And then we move on.
Was
Go
it
from
Morgan
there.
Freeman?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yep, that's it. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Morgan Freeman. Yes. Yes.
I got it.
For me, I've had discussions, but it's never gotten heated. It's for me, it's flowed. We've dialogued. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that you may not like, and that's been told to me, and I listen. I listen attentively, and I give my feedback. I've never had one of those situations personally. It's not been hard because I feel as if I don't have a lot of friends. So the ones that I do have, we've had years and years of being around each other and being able to have those dialogues where we might be mad, but we still communicate about it.
What you're talking about is quality friendships, right? A man that you can't go to and say, hey, you wrong, and he not holding himself accountable, I would question that friendship. Quality relationships. In this phase of my life, I am seeking quality male relationships and friendships with men who are wholesome, who got themselves together, who have emotional intelligence, a high EQ. But yeah, it's very simple to talk to a man. One of the things that you will find with talking to men is sometimes men are not equipped to handle what you got going on. And as men, we need to get better at communicating. Hey, bro, I hear you. I'm not equipped. I don't have the tools to help you through that, but let me get you to someone, right? who can help you through that. That's where we drop the ball. And for those really high level stuff that we may not be equipped to handle, but a quality friendship is golden for a man.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think it tends to be easier when you don't have a lot of friends, to tell you the truth. Tanisha says, if it ain't easy, is that your real friend though? I think you should be able to talk to your friend about anything.
Not anything. No, not anything. But
what? No.
You should. If I'm not equipped to what you got to put down, if you tell it to me, sure. I should always hold space for you as a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are gonna be things you might bring up to me that I'm not equipped to handle, or I don't have anything to help you with.
That's fair.
So I need to get you to somebody who can help you.
With us males, mental health has for a while seemed like admitting to being weak. It's been looked down on, especially in the Black male community. It's been looked down on, and there's a stigma. We're still trying to overcome. We're working towards it. How do we improve the stigma around men seeking mental health treatment?
What I just said, right? If you have a friend that shares something with you in private, hey, bro, let me pay for. I know a great therapist. I know this company over here. Let me pay for the first 10 sessions for you, so or let me show you me doing it. Right? Men need to see other men doing the things that we're talking about here, right? Because men of action really build that community and what we talked about earlier. If I see you doing it, I'm more than likely, hey, bro, I see you going to down the street to such and such office. I know there's a therapy. Men follow where they see good quality men. They see good, wholesome habits. Hey, that man got his stuff together. No, I don't have it together. I know someone who can. Let me get you to them and let me pay for it, or let me help you. The biggest thing a man ever did for me is I had no groceries in my house. And the brother gave me food out his cupboard, out his fridge. He didn't hold it against me. He never brought it up again. He never made fun of me. I was just in a rough spot with that military first and the 15th. The 15th was a little longer than I expected. The man hooked me up and he never hold it against me again. I respect that brother to this day.
That's deep.
And that's how we should be as brothers when we see and especially if they're a true friend, that shouldn't even be a question, that we're there for them. I think as far as the mental health, it's imperative, brothers, that we be able to communicate how we feel and those that you got to be mindful of who you share with. You ain't going to share with everybody, but there should be at least one, maybe two, somebody that you can talk to about when something's not right with you, that you can share those thoughts with you. And that was the issue, I think, that happened with the young man that played for the Minnesota Vikings that took his life. Who was in this brother's life that he didn't have that one person, that one friend that, as you were saying, brother, hey, I don't have the capacity to do it, but we're gonna get you some help. We're gonna find somebody to be able to help you, because I'm not letting you stay in this physical, mental space that you in right now, because I ain't feeling good about it. And we have to be willing to be able to do that. And sisters, this is for y'all. Y'all got to stop making men feel as if it is weak for them to be, to show emotion, because y'all say y'all want emotional, guys, but then when they do, then you being soft. What's wrong with you? Y'all got to stop that. You can't have that. You can't have it both ways. And that's why brothers we grew up not sharing. And then you expect this grown man to be emotionally intelligent. And then when he is, you going to throw it back in his face? Nah. Not at all.
Forgive me, fellas. I'm going to have to drop off.
Well, it's all good.
But, I've enjoyed the conversation. I hope we have learned from each other tonight.
For sure.
And everyone who's been on the audience, who's been listening, I hope that you also have gained something from what I've shared. So I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, brother.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ambiance Cocktail Lounge, Mr. Ambiance, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I got 3 more questions. We're gonna make it quick. He still ain't drop off. All right, we're gonna make it quick. This is not my question. How have women aided in the demise of men?
Keep
You
it.
said how they aided in the demise of men?
I'm gonna start it off. Give you guys a little chance to think about it. Because you had mentioned it, Dr. Leroy. You had mentioned one of the things that I think it needs to stop is wanting emotionally intelligent men, but then when you get it, you don't know what to do with an emotionally intelligent man. Often what you mean is you want a man that's able to receive your emotions and deal with them and process them for you, and his as well. Emotionally intelligent means that you could deal with your emotions, you process them, you deal with them, and you can process what other people have. But that requires both of you if it's going to be an emotionally intelligent relationship, though. You requiring men to do all of this emotional heavy lifting, it's not healthy. It's not a coincidence that in America, men are almost 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women. Men have been holding a lot of emotional space for you. When you heard Griffin say on the live that I'm going to apologize just to make peace in the space with you, I don't think I'm wrong. But in order to have peace and to be mindful and everything to be going good in the house, I'm going to apologize. Those kind of things. What do y'all got to say?
So great points. I think women need to have more empathy for men and allow men the space to be able to speak life into a home, have a place that don't minimize a man, don't do things to minimize a man's value. That's why things like Passport Bros and Kevin Samuels and the Red Pill community have developed. Men go where they see value. And so if men don't get value in their ecosphere, in their community, they go elsewhere. They migrate, they leave, they Passport Bros, they leave the country, because there are cultures, there are communities where the women are taught to appreciate and value a man still. And so if we can, again, we talked about this many episodes ago, where it's like a man in the old days, take out the abuse, take out the women's suffrage, but back in the day, men saw a woman's value whether she had a high-paying job or a degree, right? And when that flipped, when that transitioned, now women are the most educated women out there, people out there known to men, and that's a good thing. But you minimize the man's value in doing that. So you bettered yourself, but you forgot to bring your brother with you. You forgot to honor that man and still respect that man just because he doesn't have a master's degree, right? Just because he doesn't have the high-paying job or the 6-figure, that man still has value. So we need to get back to that, where you don't minimize a man just because he's not doing or occupying those spaces.
Well said. Well said. What you guys say, Dr. Leroy?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that that women understand the value that we have as men, but then also to be more appreciative. I was able to go over to Kenya a couple of years ago, and I was over there for some leadership and dealing with men specifically. And I had one of the brothers over there. He said to me, he said, Dr. Leroy, can you talk about us not being seen and not being heard and not being respected? And and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this isn't just an American thing, American male thing. This is a global thing that men want to feel appreciated, that they want to feel like that they have value. And that's how they just want that respect that comes along with it. Now, and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing as men. And there's value in that it is appreciated. And it is like Marcus was saying, that we're not forgotten, that we aren't left, oh yeah, that's just him. He here to take care of the bills. We're more than just that. We're more than just an ATM. We are human beings. We are men that have feelings. We are men who want to have. We want to be shown that we appreciate it, that you see us, that you hear us. That's it. Y'all do that, we good.
True. That's true. All right. So, final question. We're gonna wrap up after this. I think it's an important question. That's why I saved it for last. What is the most critical change men must face to course correct generational trauma?
We gotta
What
get
is-
out.
Huh?
We gotta get out there. We gotta get fit. We gotta get in the gym. We have to work on ourselves, like Doctor said, and start taking charge, right? Start taking charge of our own lives so that we can show up as our best selves. But the biggest one is mental. Get that mental right. Get physical. Get in the gym. Get walking. Right. Get out. Get some sun. Touch some grass, and read. Advocate. Invest in yourself. Invest in your mind. Right. Don't let society. Don't let what you see on social media. Don't let what you see in your school. Don't let those teachings be the end of your education. Okay, I got my degree. I'm done learning. Be an avid learner. So invest in yourselves, man.
Yeah, and I'll say two things, and the first one was what Marcus said. Mindset is everything. Everything begins with our mindset. We've got to change our mindset as men. Because what happens when you change the mindset, you have the understanding of who you are as a man and the power that you have as a man. You begin to walk in that power. And the second thing is principles. You have to have what I call a core set of principles, which are they're called your personal value system. Develop a personal value system, and that's 5 to 7 principles that you stand on. And I mentioned mine earlier. One is wisdom, vision, uniqueness, commitment, consistency, excellence, and accountability. And that will guide your decisions that you make in your life. And that once you begin to make better decisions, then the people around you, you show other men, as the brother was saying, you show other men how to make better decisions. And then that trickles out into the community, and that trickles out into all of the other areas that we as men gather and be a part of. But it all begins with that mindset. We've got to change our mindset.
Awesome. Love it. Love the conversation, fellas. For me, I would think the one thing for me, I would say would be if you're at a stage where your head is right, I would say to mentor one child. Take one child, one young man under your wing and teach them what you know. Because I feel like that will help everybody. If one man that's in their right mind, that is not, you know what I'm saying? Because all of us, when we were coming up, there was a gang of dudes that were ready, willing, and waiting to take you to the streets. There were always people ready to take you on that path where you should not be on. But all we each need is just one that's in a proper mindset to show us how to change a tire, to show us how to love a woman, to show us what it means to be emotionally intelligent, and to understand what's the difference between being soft and being sensitive, what love is. If we could find one that will teach another one, I think we'll be fine. All right. Final words. We're going to start off with the first time guest, Dr. Leroy. What's your final words? Where can the people reach you? How can they get in touch with you and find your book and whatnot?
Yeah, well, my final word is brothers, we understand the power that you have as a man, and walk in that power in your faith, in your family, in your finances, and in the future. When you walk in that power, you become unstoppable. What I say is unstoppable. You become unstoppable. So take that with you each and every day. And today I said this at the beginning of the day, and I want every brother to embrace this. I am greatness. That's one of my I am statements. I am greatness. And when that begins to filter in you, that you believe that you're greatness, you hold your head up a little higher, your back becomes a little straighter, and you walk a little taller, and you have this confidence and this understanding that nothing can defeat you. You'll have challenges, but nothing will defeat you. People can reach me, through. I'll give you my link tree because that has everything on it, and that's the http://link linktr.ee/JNF Enterprises that has all of my social media on it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and then also my YouTube channel. Check out my YouTube channel as well. You can check out the YouTube channel. I go live every morning, 9 o'clock, for my my brand new podcast that I have, and it's just me and less than 15 minutes, usually less than 10 minutes that I come on, share some entrepreneurial gems and give entrepreneurs and leaders and organizations some information that makes them 1% better, as I mentioned, 1% better each and every day. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you. This has been a great conversation here tonight.
For sure. Thank you for coming on and taking time out of your busy schedule. I appreciate it. All right, the gentleman, what do you have to say? What's your final word, sir?
Thank you for an incredible show. This is an incredible show. You have an amazing podcast. In all things, lead with love. Always. Everything. The world has so much hate. The world has so much negativity. Try love. The next time you face some opposition or you face something tough, try love and see if that doesn't make a difference, an impact in your community, in your surroundings, in your family, in your household, and change the world for the better.
Hey. It's been a great show, man. I really appreciate you both coming on and Mr. Griffin taking time out of his schedule because I know he's a busy man as well. This has been a dope show. I'm gonna go ahead and make clips, post it, tag you guys. Please share it on your pages. Let people know that we exist. My final words is pretty much, hey, share this, man. Share this. The same way y'all share them stupid podcasts talking about dating, how much to pay a bill, and man, look, share this. This is real stuff. Because this is stuff that people talk about. Y'all don't never talk about holding men accountable and all of this and that. Well, we've been taking hits all night. We've been taking blows all night holding each other accountable. Come on now. Share us like you share those celebrities that you've never met and don't know you exist. You know what I'm saying? All right, but follow Same Difference. Follow us on Instagram at Same Difference 2022 or on TikTok at Same_Difference_pod. The YouTube is at VI_very_own. Go ahead and follow that YouTube. You have full episodes. You can watch this whole thing if you just join late or whatever. Yes, the clips are nice, but you can go ahead and watch the full thing, listen to it while you drive or whatever. This is a dope show, if I do say so myself. And also Sunday, we got a different day with Ja and Nisi, as I said, 101.3 Raw FM at Facebook live stream. Go ahead and tune into that every Sunday from 4 to 6. If you live in the Virgin Islands, that's 3 to 5 Eastern time. All right. As for me, we out of here, man. Love you guys. It's been a dope show. We love you. We out. Peace.
Peace.